All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming back. You know who it is. This is Lynsey Weatherspoon from the Trust Your Process podcast. And I have someone here that I believe is truly a special person, and that is Sydney Foster. Thank you so much for being here.
Yo, I'm happy to be here with you, Lynsey. It's dope. I ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, how you been?
I've been good. You know, I'm like in a season of, I would say, an ascendance, spiritual awakening. But it's been an intentional season of stillness for me, and I'm actually okay with it. Typically, I would not be okay with that, but I'm okay with that, and I'm feeling good and just reprioritizing purpose through process and reprioritizing health, because if I'm not okay, I can't do any of this stuff.
That's true.
And I can't save anybody else if I don't save myself first. So so that's where I've been. I haven't been taking as many pictures for assignments, but I have been taking some pictures and like documenting some video personally as I've been reckoning with the homecoming, like being in Montgomery more, as I'm working on some projects. But that's what I've been up to. That's how I've been.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to get into home, but like, what's something that you've learned in this season so far?
I would say it's a constant practice of patience and really knowing what that is. Like, I think when we're younger, we get taught that patience is one thing, but then as we become adults, patience expands beyond just sitting to wait your turn. For me, it's been a very spiritual journey. And in the stillness and in the patience, I've gotten some clarifying answers. That's the thing that I've been like ruminating on the most, like patience.
Yeah. Understood. To me, it's a lost art. I don't want to blame one thing, but I know for me, it's learning the patience while living in such a very social and digital world and having to, at times, tear myself away from the things that are a distraction.
Yeah, I'm literally doing probably half of social media, if not more than half, than I've probably done in my life, period. I think being in Atlanta when I first entered versus now, it's just like, I really don't need this. And I now have a separate phone number. So if I meet somebody in person or even online, I just tell them, just text this number. I've just been making like really intentional decisions like that and gathering data like email addresses so I can connect with people outside of the internet, because it's just not it. Like, it causes too much anxiety. It causes too much depression, and we're not benefiting from it as artists. The people who own the platforms do. And then they're well off. Their wealth gaps are in abundance. And then we're trying to heal ourselves in more ways than just money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm not on strike, but I just don't care anymore like I used to. It's not going to make or break my success as an artist or as a human.
I feel like we're already getting into the meat of things, which I love. What brought you to this mindset? Because you're such an exceptional talent and just an overall caring and healing person. So where's all of this coming from?
I think age, life. I'm 29 now. I'll be 30 this year. And the things that I once cared about, just from living alone, you realize they don't matter as you begin to mature or age. And also working in this commercial space that I always dreamed of being in, didn't think I would be here this quickly in the matter of a 3-year span. I realized I get to see the ins and outs, the nitty gritty. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. Like, I would rather figure out how to literally like go inward to be my best self than to be performative. I served 11 and a half years in the military, and I worked for people for a long time beyond the military. And my thing was, if I was going to leave a structured environment like that, I didn't want to have to deal with the same types and themes and concepts of performance being a creative, and then being a creative in the commercial realm, and then I realized it's not really different. You still have to answer to somebody. I decided to just do it my own way because there's no rules.
Yeah.
Like, when you become an entrepreneur and you move out of your parents' home, like, you realize you get to make your own rules.
True. Very true.
And when that hit me, and it's really just hit me in the past 6 months, it was just like, oh, I'm going to drink spring water versus a purified water, or, oh, I'm going to eat more vegetables, or, oh, I'm going to roll out of bed at 12 o'clock if I want to and be okay with it and know that I'll still be okay, you know? So
True.
I think just the notion from going from a corporate formative world and doing it in my dreams with photography to now where I am in my career, it's just like, Sid, you got this, and you're never going to lack anything, be it if you're working on set every day or if you're not. But if your health is not okay, or if you're not learning how to manage stress, you're not going to even be able to exist in these environments anyway. So that's how I've gotten here.
And to be in that train of thought at the age you're at compared to most says a lot about what the future looks like for you. And if no one has told you, I think that is extremely impressive and something to learn from, because just meeting you alone and not only being like struck by your work, but being more struck by your personality. You're definitely what I like to call like a wavy person. It's just like, it is what it is. And I've gone through life not being that person. So to have someone like you in my life means a lot. And I definitely grow from our conversations all of the time. Definitely. Yeah.
It's too early to cry. Hold on. Wait a second.
Sydney, you have described your work being heavily influenced around social equity, Black folks. I know there's like a smattering, or probably even more at this point, more work around LGBTQ and identity and things of that nature. But I want you to be able to talk about yourself and your work. So can you let the folks that's listening to this podcast, just let them know a little bit more about you? Who is Sydney? Not just the photographer Sydney, but Sydney.
Sydney is, period. Sydney also is one who thinks a lot, but now I can reframe my thoughts into like organized buckets to where they can like better impact myself, but also impact community. Sydney is a world changer. You know, Sydney wants the world to be better because it wasn't the best for me. I'm thinking about future world building and how we create better systems for the generations coming up, because they should not have to go through the things that any of us have gone through in the past years. Sydney is strong. Sydney has persevered and like gotten through a lot, and I don't know how. Yeah, Sydney is still here.
I love that Sydney is still here.
Sydney is still here because it's been some times where I'm just like, I don't want to wake up tomorrow. I'm going on a vacation in another universe, and I hope y'all can catch me in the astral planes. Yeah. So yeah, that's who I am.
It sounds like a lot of affirmations as you were talking about who Sydney is. Do you tell yourself that all of the time? I guess, what does a routine for you look like? Because again, the wavy person that I met that can fully articulate feelings, I think which is obvious in your work as well. How is that attached to like your artistic practice?
Absolutely. I would definitely say if I don't have silent hours in the morning, I cannot be around people. I used to could just roll out of bed and like start my day and start doing work. Even artistically, I cannot do that anymore. So when I wake up in the morning, I will have a glass of water, at least 8 ounces of water, and I now have built out an altar. It took me a mighty long time to do that, but I've done it, and it's not a scary thing anymore. And that helps me connect with my ancestors, and it helps me really like peacefully come into the day and set some intention. So I'll do a meditation, be it guided or silently, or play like some Alice Coltrane. And I'll just think, and I'll be present in my breathing. And then I feel clear. I can't explain it, but just I feel real clear on my I am, on my meta, like on my loving kindness. So that really sets the scene for my artistic practice. I've even started, even on set, and I started this last year. Before I shoot, I will step away and I will go light an incense and I will just breathe. So though that's how I'm setting my day, and that's how I'm setting my intentions before I enter my artistic practice. And I'm beginning to do that at least 3 times a day, because it's essential. Like I don't ever want to. I think you get to an age and you get to a point in life where you realize that we're all energetic beings in these physical bodies, and we're dealing with each other's energy or spirits. It's not even the person. So I'm learning not to like take a lot of stuff personal and like really love people, because we don't love each other anymore.
I mean, more love, less war, and whatever war looks like, whether that is in another country, whether that is with yourself, whether that's with other people, that's one of the key things that we have to understand about ourselves as artists, as Black artists, as Black people. You know, we keep hearing the phrase of being like, we want to be liberated, but what does that even mean if we don't essentially know what love is? Yeah. So I ride with that for sure.
Yeah. And even in the talks of being liberated, it's a journey for real. And we can only do so much. I think the ambitiousness of liberation is, organizing in mass groups to stand on the front line for a cause or a group of folks. But it's an ongoing journey. I don't think it's one dimensional. Like, it's many, many, many parts.
Of course.
It's many.
Well, which part of liberation do you think you're at right now?
Self-liberation, because if I can't free myself, I can't create none of the work that I want to create. I can create the work that people tell me to make in a commercial space, but even that's hard. So it's like, how do we free ourselves from these blockages? And the thing that I've come to is working on myself, because we were on set in January and I wasn't satisfied with some of it, but I think at the end of the day, as long as like I am doing my best with the resources, the people, all of the things that I got, I have to be okay with that stuff. I can't self-sabotage, talk down to myself, because that's not going to help anything. And that energy transfers, and other people start to be like, oh yeah, well, this thing maybe does suck, or, whatever the negativities that come along with it. But definitely self-liberation. I'm working on some really hard things right now in my personal art work. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to go to a special set of therapies just to finish this project, because I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety behind the concept and themes around the work. I'm basically unlearning everything that my Black community taught me growing up. Like literally all I knew, because of the oral histories and oral stories that my folks taught me. Don't do this thing because you may go to hell, or don't do this thing or you may end up in a negative circumstance.
Yeah. Well, what you do? Would you care to tell us about any of those projects that you're working on, or you know, we're pretty open here, so.
Thank you for my therapy session this month.
Yes. Amen to that.
No, for real. So right now what I'm working on is a project that actually came to me. A lot of things come to me in my dreams. It came to me while I was sleeping on a friend's couch in Birmingham. in February of 2022. And I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to put in a triennial show for an institution. And I was like, I want to do this thing, just being real ambitious, wanting to do this thing. And, sometimes we just don't know the process and the steps,
Of
and
course.
we'll have a good idea. And I wasn't ready to do it, but I jotted everything down. And so the name of the project is called Pray the Gay Away. The project will explore gender studies, sexual identities, the Black church, mental health, and queerness. Just queerness outright, and how being in the South, that can be detrimental to your existence if you're gay.
Yeah.
If you're gay, most of what you say you want to do, you basically get X'd out. Like people, you become like a black sheep from my personal experience. So I'll be working through my personal story, but also engaging other queer folks from the Deep South, like Montgomery, Louisiana, and elsewhere, to just see how they're doing, but also figure out how we move forward. What are the things that we need? What are the laws that we need to fight for to get amended? So this body of work, of course, it'll be pretty, but it'll also be to cause some change, because we have to exist. Like, we no longer live in a space, live in a time, live in a period where we have to be exiled. That's not a thing anymore. Like, we're living in a space where we don't have to get along, but it's at our best interest, because we need the support. We've always needed the agency and support, but now we really need it. And just from my recent studies and readings, a lot of Black queer women have led these freedom movements or these liberation movements.
Absolutely.
And people don't want to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So this is for the Audre Lordes. This is for the Tony K. Bambaras. This is why I'm doing it. And it's scary.
I bet.
It's so scary. My mom doesn't even know why I got this pot of grant money. And like, it's a direct lineage thing. And like, I'm just scared.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what are you scared of?
I guess reliving like me telling my mom like, hey, I'm gay, and like having to like recount the thoughts of her saying, if that's how you want society to see you, so be it. And that didn't feel like support. It felt like mom had become society that didn't approve. And that sucks and hurts really, really bad. So just reliving those situations and actually having to deal with it, because I never processed it. We just put things in the back of our head and we keep going.
Just compartmentalize and keep it pushing.
Keep going. Put it on the shelf. Never come back to get it. So now I actually have to, for the sake of myself, I gotta deal with it. And if I don't deal with it, I can't help others. Like, I'm in a season of my life of actually doing the work, because me just doing the work alone can inspire somebody else to do their work to save another life. So that's the scariest part, just dealing with my personal experience behind it.
What kind of love and feedback have you gotten since starting this project? Because I know you started with Two-Spirit Soldier, which kind of like allowed this project to grow and flourish. I'm just wondering, what can people do to help you, like to support, and not so much financially, because that is also important, but more so of just holding space for you, because you and I both, we have similar projects, just different ideas around it. What other types of support can we provide as you go through this journey of this project?
I would say beyond the financial, the type of support that I wish to have is showing up for in real life activations, be it in the virtual space or physical space. I do plan on having focus groups to just hear people, and you will be compensated. What else? if any therapists are listening to this, any comp therapy sessions, be it either for myself or participants who are needing that, they always say know what you need because people want to give you the things that you are seeking. Lord. I would start there for now. Just showing up to like whatever events possible because I do feel like black folks, queer
Mm-hmm.
folks, we don't have space to occupy and take up,
Mm-hmm.
or if we do have the space, we still aren't as confident in those
Mm-hmm.
spaces. So showing up in space to be heard. Like this is now the time to be heard.
Indeed.
And this is how I want to use my platforms and any like therapy, mental health support.
Indeed. Yeah, I mentioned earlier about how both of us are from Alabama, me being from Birmingham and you being from Montgomery, but there's still like this sting of knowing that there are people who don't believe that Black queer rights are part of civil rights. Have you experienced anyone that tries to like argue you down with stuff like that? What type of experiences have you had since starting this?
That's the thing. Those are the things that I'm scared of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that protection and how do I form the agency to protect me or to guide me through those conversations. As of right now, I have not, but as press begins to rev up,
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeking and hoping like June, July during like early Pride months and Pride months. I probably will be faced with a lot more, but I'm also curious to know how certain politicians will respond that I know, be it any form, any level, be it the state level
Mm-hmm.
or city level, how they'll respond to it because I am going to reach out for support and to engage them to talk about these laws that continue to oppress us.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, I haven't put myself in a situation to respond. But I know it's coming, and I think what I'm going to do to prepare is to read up on laws and figure out the best way to counter. Like, how can I stand up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the things that we could
Mm-hmm.
do? Even if it's organizing a group of queer folks to show up during legislative session, you
Mm-hmm.
know, taking up that type of space and just being
Yeah.
prepared. I mean, people are mean, but I feel like as long as I have the systems in place and the agency to support me, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they talked about Jesus.
They did. What they said, pierce his head and hung him high. And
They pierced his head and hung him
and
high.
you know, we're gonna be vilified for any and everything. That's the unfortunate thing about any work that is going to be not expansive, but going to benefit everybody. Because our liberation benefits everyone. And if everyone realized that, this wouldn't even be an issue right now, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think people forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like superior complex from my research and readings right now. It stems from religion. More than anything, religion is power, which leads to money. But I don't know. I don't know why, but
Yeah. When we first met, I only knew you as the photographer that happened to work at Governor Kay Ivey's office. What has been your journey to become the photographer that you are today?
Okay, so I would definitely say this thing for me started in high school. I was in yearbook, and also in the midst of my coming out story and queerness, my sister would take me to the bookstore, like Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
And I don't know. In her head, it was a distraction to not be queer. I don't know what
I don't know how
the
that works, but
interference.
okay.
Yeah, it just made, the stuff in the fashion magazines makes you want to explore your individuality way more.
Yeah.
And in this case, in fashion, it's majority queer folks.
Yeah.
Right? So So it started in high school, and then from high school, I ended up joining the military to go to SCAD, not knowing at the time when you join the military, they only cover state schooling. So did that, running away from like my mom, running away from home, just to be rerouted back to home. And then I didn't take pictures in the military, though I wanted to. I thought I was going to be this war photographer, documenting war and just all of these things. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So got to Alabama State as a freshman, and my mom is also working at Alabama State. She's like, you need to be with David Campbell. And I'm like, okay, okay. I don't know what I would do for David, but David met me, I think as photographers, we're always going through a series of interviews.
Yes, for sure.
So me and David, we met, we talked for a little bit, and then he was like, you should come out with me and see if you want to do this. And so at that time, he was doing like a bunch of event photography, and I thought that was all it was to photography. And so I was like, okay, David, yeah, I can do this. And then he was like, oh, but you also got to do sports. And you also got to do these staff portraits. And you also got to do all of this stuff. So it really opened my eyes and like challenged me to do a lot. Like I learned how to write captions, didn't know what that was, learned how to use photo mechanic. Just all of these elements way beyond these, like I'm not doing anything in these magazines that I saw yet. So I'm just like, okay, this is cool because it's giving me access to these rooms.
Right.
And in these rooms, it's these powerful people, but I didn't have the language to even communicate with these powerful people. I just knew I wanted to be in the room with them because they were going to these private parties and just having a ball, having a time, right? And so from there, David got like an opportunity came up to work for the governor of Alabama. At the time, it was a different governor. And I was scared. I was 21.
Yeah.
No, I was 20.
Oh, wow.
I was 20. That's crazy. Yeah, I was 20. And I was like, David, sure, I'll go interview for this thing. But I'm just like, what do I wear to this interview? I'm also like, gay, and I got this short haircut, I got my part, just all of these things. And I'm like, these people not gonna hire me. They ended up hiring me. And I was like, oh snap, I can't hide no more. Like I just gotta be seen.
Yeah.
And from there, I did that for about 3 years, and then I met you. And when you called me, I was on an active duty order for COVID, and I had deployed by then, and then I was stateside on an active duty order on COVID. And it was like, go help Lynsey or get written up. And I was like, I'm gonna get written up.
You didn't have to get written up for me though.
No. It wasn't for you, but it was like, I've never seen another queer Black woman in a space doing the thing that I want to do on the next level. So it was inspirational. You from Alabama? I was like, who knew?
Yeah.
Because all of the people I'm researching, they're in LA, they're in New York, they're in Atlanta. I would even sneak to Atlanta to like assist people.
Yeah.
So when you call me, I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going to just have to get written up. Even if you didn't pay me a dime, it was just the experience. And so for me, when we did the shoot, it was just full circle because we're standing outside of the Capitol next to these figures who experimented on Black women, capturing a Black woman who was loud, who was bold, and who was not afraid to stand up and speak. And a woman who I knew.
Yeah.
Like I grew up knowing this woman.
Yeah. Shout out to Michelle Browder.
Shout out to Michelle Browder. Shout out to Michelle Browder. So I was just like, yo, I'm getting written up. And that day forever changed my life because if I didn't take a chance on myself that day, I probably still would have been in Montgomery figuring out how to manage my stress. suppressing who I really am on the inside. So thank you for calling me. I don't know who told you to call me, but thank them too. I'm grateful that y'all were obedient and following through, and here we are now.
I can't thank the gods, the spirit enough for us meeting, because it was a necessity for us to be able to see each other in each other. So I think I want to pay homage to those who are just like us and didn't have the ability to be shown, because it's a whole lot of us out there, Sydney. Like, it really is. And it hurts to know that, like, this artistic ability, these stories have either been silenced, or they're just no longer here. They're now ancestors. So to be in community with folks like you, it is important. And even if it's not just from, let's say, an artistic space, just from like a I see you space, like, sis, I see you type of thing, that is just as valuable as anything else. So yeah, the gods have put us back together in the same neighborhood. I can walk to your house right now and, walk by with Cannon, so Cannon can say hey to Camo.
Please don't. You would disrupt Camo right now.
Camo is lit.
You really never know how you're going to see people again and how people will remember you. So, like, we just got to continue to stand in agency with one another when we do find each other.
Yeah.
On this side, yeah.
I agree. Yeah. When you stepped away from Alabama State, I believe you moved to New York for a little bit, right?
So I got to New York. So I deployed in 2017. Mm-hmm. I went to Kuwait for about 4.5 months. And no, this was before deployment, because I didn't want to deploy. I remember that. And I tried to figure out every way to get out of it. So every spring break during college, I would go somewhere. And I would go to New York because my sister was living in New York at the time. Okay. And she's still there. And so she would just be like, just come here. Also from Montgomery, and like got out of here like as soon as she could. And so I would just go. I would save my money up and I would just go. But March of 2017, that spring break, I went to New York and I stayed for about 2 weeks. And I ended up on the elevator with this publicist. At this it was an open bar Hennessy party. Bomb DJs, Vashti was there.
Oh, nice.
Just like all of these things. And the bathroom was upstairs. It was just weird. It's New York stuff. City living stuff.
You know how New York goes.
Yes, I know. But I was talking to this lady on the elevator and I was like, I'm a photographer, blah, 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 blah. I started showing her the work that I did have. And she was like, you need to meet Keith Major. I'm going to send an email and connect y'all. And I was like, okay, I don't know who Keith Major is. I don't know who you are, lady. You could be telling me this and I won't even hear from you the next day. But she actually did the thing that she actually did the thing that she said that she was going to do. And she sent the email. And so Keith Major responded back and said, when you come to New York for the summer, let me know and I'll get you set up. Just real brief, like New Yorkers.
Yeah.
One sentence. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I emailed him back this lengthy email like Southerners do. And he just said, okay. And fast forward to the summer, I make it to New York for the summer. I'm going to be there for like 2 months. And I don't hear from Keith for almost a month.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, yo, this man isn't responding. He's the reason why I'm here. Yeah. Like, what am I going to do? And my sister Jessie, she works in fashion. And I think she was at Tommy Hilfiger at the time. She was like, yo, don't worry about it. I'm going to connect you with some other folks. They're going to set you up with some other folks. And so I worked with Jason Rogers for about a week and a half. And then Jason told Danielle Levitt about me. And I ended up working with Danielle Levitt on a shoot for the magazine at the time was Gay Letter. That was the only queer magazine I knew, but it wasn't a lot of us in it. But this specific shoot, Danielle Levitt was shooting this house, like this gay house, like they vogued. I can't think of the name of the house, but it was the top Black folks that were in mainstream media about Vogue. And the show was on, they had a show that was on Vice. It was still very, I wouldn't say underground, but like it was more public facing. And to see like those Black queer women and men and trans women like doing all of these poses, like it was just, the synergy was crazy. And that's when I was just like, when I get back home, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, how do I shoot these editorials for these magazines like this? And so all of that happened. Keith hit me back in the midst of all of trying to figure it out, you know. And I think a lot of times we freak out when we don't get an answer right away. But Keith hit me up and was like, yo, I'm gonna go to the Met to go look at some art. Meet me at the Met and we'll see how we get along. You know, he didn't say it like that, but that was the gist of it.
That's pretty smart though.
Yeah, so I met him at the Met, and as we're like going in the museum, it's Yara Shahidi graduating from high school. And Keith is like, yo, Yara, mom, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Because he had photographed her. I think she was a tot at the time. Like, she was very young in her acting career. Right. And I'm just like, who is this man? Like, who am I with right now? Like, why are we casually talking to Yara Shahidi? And I actually have pictures, if I can find them. I have pictures of her in her cap and gown from her high school graduation.
That's nuts.
And that last month in New York, I ended up working for Keith exclusively. And I found myself in the middle of Manhattan rolling a cart with very expensive gear and his phase 1 camera. This was phase 1 when phase 1 first came out with the medium format body, across the street in Manhattan, and shit was falling off. And I was like, Lord, I hope I don't get fired today. Because, you know, in New York, you have to go, if you're fortunate enough, you have a studio. Right. But if you're not, stuff is in storage. You got to go to storage. Hallways are tinier. Just all of this stuff. And I was just freaking out. And he was just like, yo, it's all right. Like, just keep calm. And he was like, he just grabbed what fell, and we just kept going.
It moving.
But that's
a lesson right there.
Yo, I was so young. I was freaking out. I was 21. I didn't know what to do, but I knew like a lot was on the line. Like, this was like my next intro into where I wanted to be next. So I didn't want to screw up.
Understood.
But New York was a time Keith like exposed me to a lot. We talked about agency life. We talked about agents. We talked about how he started. And it all goes back to being in community and building with your friends. You know, his best friend and colleague is Sam Fine. And him and Sam Fine came up together in the industry, in the beauty industry and photography. And if it wasn't for the synergy and collaboration they had, they wouldn't be like who they are today. Yeah. So that was my time in New York. 2 months turned into more opportunities. And I find time to go back to New York when I can. I haven't been back in a while, but from that experience led into like gallery representation for me and all of the things. So that was New York. I don't know if I would live there, but I would do like 6 month stints. I think being in the world that we live in now, we don't have to be in that space unless we specifically want to work in a certain realm of the photography space. And I honestly don't know if I care to just shoot celebrities anymore.
Hey, talk about that.
You know, we're all just people. And I think I went through a phase of worship where it's just like, oh, snap. I don't know, who could it be? It's Rihanna walking down the street. You know, like those things don't excite me anymore because I feel like what the pandemic did, it put everybody back on the same level. And you realize, like, you got to see celebrities as humans and you realize, oh, they got bills to pay. They're not able to do what they do to make money. Oh, they get sick too. Oh, they get sick too. They gotta be out for 2 weeks. Oh, they get sad and depressed too, just like us. So I'm not in a space anymore to where I'm wild, you know? Like I would love to be in conversation with folks, but I too am a celebrity in my own regard. We all are. And I think when we realize that we can just meet people where they are,
Yeah.
chest to chest,
Yeah.
it's mutual respect, you know?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing. But I don't think I don't want to live in LA and New York because those are the places where most of those shoots happen.
Mm-hmm.
Being in Atlanta, they're starting to happen more
That's
here.
true.
I also know that a lot of commercial things happen in LA. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of commercial shoots happen in LA and New York. And though the money is good, I don't know if that's where I'm at. You know, as we're talking about process and trusting it,
Mm-hmm.
why would I continue to invest time in a market or in an industry that causes me anxiety?
Hmm.
Like life doesn't have to be difficult. I've realized that I can take care of myself in different ways that are more abundant versus being in competition with somebody like a Lynsey or somebody else that's black. When we have to like fixate our minds to be competitive, it's no fun in it. Specifically, it's no fun in it for me, and that just don't work for me.
Understood.
I would rather go out with y'all and have a lot of fun and not be at the table being like, you know, such and such is up for this job. I don't want to talk to them because it's a real
Yeah.
thing. And I don't like the strife that causes within our community specifically. So I'm still doing photography. It's not going
Of course.
anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my why behind it is a lot different.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to add to that because you made a good point. You know, in a way, it's amazing that Black photographers are being considered for different jobs because in that way we can all talk and benefit from it by saying, "Hey, did you get this particular inquiry? How much are you charging? How about we just kind of go all in on this together and say you charge this, so that way if they try to pass it on to the next person, we ask that person, how can we help you? Because either way, all of us will probably be hiring each other, even though we weren't the one chosen for the initial job. So I think there is a benefit to that. But yes, I also think there is like a sour spot to it because now, like you said, there's that competitive part that's attached to it, and all of us are hungry, for lack of a better word. Like we want it. I think the way that I was trying to put it is basically, you know, there are some agencies that will only put and I may be stretching here, but I'm just gonna say it, but maybe only putting a Black photographer within the 3 people that need to be part of the bid, which is also unfair to all of us as well. And that may be going off into another tangent, but all in all, I think that there has to be something better out there for us as Black artists, the support, the resources, the not to be chosen just because of who we know, but our artistry. There has to be some type of leveling out. And I hope all of that made sense to what we were just talking about.
No, it does. It definitely does. I mean, it's all relative. I mean, I was in conversation with another colleague who's done stuff for Nike, and or you know, I'm saying Nike because that's the
Yeah.
example of the thing that we were talking about. But it's like we also get chosen based off of our life experiences as Black
Yeah.
consumers. We don't want to be chosen to figure out how to sell just because we know how to get Black people to buy
Yeah.
sneakers. Like we can take pictures of other things. What about nature? What about all of the other entities
Totally.
beyond just like being a consumer in space? And I think that's another one of my hangups right now with it is it's dope that you've chosen me to do X commercial for X shoe brand, but what about the other stuff?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And those other stuff being like, in your opinion, like what do you, I know we're capable of doing all types of photography, but if you had your choice right now, where would you like to see more Black artists creating? And it doesn't have to just be photography, but just art in itself.
I think for me right now, if I had to pick a theme or a concept, it would probably be something in the holistic realm. So like spirituality and wellness. Not football, not basketball, but more in meditative practices like yoga, just the sports that we aren't known to thrive in. Because it is like, I think equestrian, like I would love to see that, even like land stewardship, farming, gardening, things of that nature, just healthier foods, campaigns that deal with better ways of living and better ways of convening in community. Maybe like non-alcoholic campaigns, non-alcoholic brands, things like that, because we are becoming a community where we actually want to take care of ourselves because we are not living longer. Like we're beginning to get cancer earlier on, and we're beginning to have heart attacks that take our lives. So I would just say opportunities to capture images that empower wellness, to keep it short.
So when you are thinking about a new project, what does it take for you to like feel like you have an idea that is worth exploring?
I would have to say a lot of life experience, be it, if it's not my own, just hearing my friends out in community and what's relevant right now or what's most important for us. Going to research the data and figuring out, okay, this is the problem. How can we use imagery to propose a solution? And then from the data, I would like figure out, okay, how do I creatively place this person? Or is it a certain color I should use? Or should this person wear a certain thing? Or should the light do something dramatic? So it goes, so as I'm in ideation phase, it then goes into deeper research to tailor what the images will look like once they're finally delivered. But as of right now, a lot of reading, because I'm seeking to create art that will inform. As we all know, a pretty picture will bring somebody in, but once they get up close to the thing or picture and begin to engage with it, I want to create works that will begin to engage the mind, to create deeper thought.
I love
so a lot of reading and research right now, because I do realize creating art for art's sake is not it right now. Like it has to be a greater purpose. And it doesn't always have to be all serious, but we're in a time where we have, like, it is crucial, and this is my own personal opinion, but we have to wake up because the systems that are being formed to continue American tradition and heritage, they are not for us. So we have to figure out how to take advantage of the systems that do benefit us to propel us as a community, as a society, Black society. So yeah, I would say that's where I am right now. And then from the technical aspect of it, or the research component of it, then figuring out what gear I'll use, and if I plan on blowing this up on a billboard, do I want to use like a medium format camera? If I have to work with a crew, specifically being strategic about who's in that crew, because I'm big on synergy on set, and if the vibes ain't right, everybody's not going to care the same to make the work, so.
And know where your collaborators feel safe,
No, absolutely. That's a big part of it these days, making sure people feel safe across the board.
What are you reading?
as I have begun to do research for Pray the Gay Away, the project that I spoke on earlier, I'm reading this book called Jambalaya, and it is from a priestess. Her name is Louisa Tish. I may have jacked up her name, but it talks about African spirituality and rituals. And I'm in a portion of the book where she's setting the scene of how we lost our original religion, which was based off of nature, and how women were at the forefront of it. And the only reason that it became villainized was because the Lutheran and Protestant church wanted a male figure. So they then began to persecute people who wanted to do nature rituals, to talk to their ancestors or talk to their God. And it's just interesting to me how the world is where it is because of male presence. And I love men. This Sid is not bashing any man. Some of my near and dear friends are men, and I love them to death. But the reality is, no matter if you're a woman or a man, you both hold both feminine and masculine traits.
Right.
So, but that's what I'm reading right now, and it's a fully loaded book. But that's what I'm reading, and I'm also reading The Feminist Economy. It talks about what the economy could look and feel like if it was based off of feminine principles. So that could be having more time off to focus on mental health, or longer deadlines to not cause stress. Like, what are those things? Like, what does equity look like if it's not based off of a masculine or the present American economy?
Have you read any biographies by folks in the queer community?
Not yet. I got introduced to Audre Lorde back in February, and she has really, spiritually, she has done a thing, because she was like a woman who thought that she had to be with a man, and she did the thing. She had kids with a man. She was married to a man. And as she began to mature and get older, she started to live her life. So I'm really just very intrigued with her life journey. But I haven't specifically read any books. Do you got any recommendations?
Audre Lorde is a definitely a good spot to start. Like, I just started reading her work and realized how, you have to read it and then go put it down for a minute and be like, I'll come back to that. Cause it's like, you're going to face some things, but you didn't realize it was going to be right there when you needed it. So I kind of go off and on her work. And then there's Alice Walker. And then there's All Boys Aren't Blue by George Johnson. I really enjoyed that one. But like I said, with us having similar projects, like my reading is geared more towards like either going back to classics or trying to find something that is, and this is more like literature and fiction. Some of them are biographies, but the more that I think about it, I like to read like just the creativity when it comes to our folks. But I think whatever book that you decide to pick up will still have some significance to your practice and like the way that you see this project going. So those books sound phenomenal to me. I may have to even consider them myself. It sounds like your practice is definitely more on the fine art side these days. How are people collecting your work? And then what type of work are they collecting from you?
That's a good question. I would say it first starts by me actually putting it on a platform so people can purchase it. And that's something I'm working on right now. It's taken me a little more time, but I think my time in Miami last December was a wake up call, and I got to do some deep research, even into why people collect work. And it's heavy on guardianship and being able to tell the story. Like, if I were to leave today, like, people could still tell the history and the story and the things that I worked on. People have been able to collect my work in person. And some of the things that they are getting our pictures are pictures of elders. I'm trying to think of something else that resonates deeply with people. The two church ladies on the black and gold backdrop, that resonates deeply. And that piece is called Prayer Drapery. I have this piece that is black skin with white paint on it. A lot of people have collected that, but it's a rarity, and it's probably, I would say maybe 5 people have collected it, but it's been white people. So I have a lot of white collectors, and just this year alone, last December, I got my first black collector.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think that?
That's a good question. So he's my first black collector, but also first black male to collect my work. And he acquired the piece of W.J. Lofton in the Grassy area. It's a part of the Two Spirited Soldier series. And I think the mystery in it, also I'm learning as I'm doing the work that I'm doing and talking to more men, straight men, they are hurting, period. And I think they are finding themselves in the depths or in the background and really not knowing how to communicate. So I think that could be the reason why he collected that piece, but also the fashion. It's nice. I like the fashion in it. I like this cowboy hat. Like, we kind of did a thing to forecast time now.
Yeah.
We didn't know that cowboy hats would be a thing now, but I think that trend too. But also, people see who you are before you can see who they are. And I think another thing was being able to get the piece now versus in 10 or 5 years and it be an astronomical price. So just being an early investor into my story. The collector knows a lot of what I've been through to get here, and just an avid supporter and wanted to support further. So but that's what I'm seeing more. But also, people like photography. It's a lot of black people who are into photography and would prefer to collect photography. I think it is some type of spiritual process. I know for me, if I was able to see my grandmother in my house, or a woman who held a sense of a grandmother taking care of her kids, I would be able to channel her strength on a bad day. And I think a lot of that resonates with people who view my work too. They say they can feel the subjects, and I'm like, okay. I don't know what that means for them, but I have heard people say that specifically. So
you can feel the essence of a person through the work that is seen and unseen. And I can only imagine what it's going to be when we get to, more of the Pray the Gay Away project, because that's going to be some stuff. The way, one of the inspirations for walking into the project that I've done or still doing was because of a show I saw at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute in the early 2000s. And it's a photographer, Carolyn Scherer. Are you familiar with her?
I believe so. I believe I've seen some of that.
But basically, it was a whole show of just nothing but queer folks, like all lesbians and their families. Some of them had their backs turned to the camera to, not show their identity. It's called Living in Limbo. But basically, that there was so much vitriol for that show. Like, people were campaigning to have it taken down at the Civil Rights Institute because they didn't believe, again, where I said earlier about how civil rights and LGBTQ rights are not exclusive to each other. So it was so disheartening to know that the people that you respect just out of respect pretty much didn't see you as on the same level. Like, you don't deserve rights because of this thing that is part of you. So when I say we are important, we are valuable, I mean it. Not from a self-centered space, because there are other people who are doing necessary work around this particular topic. But as far as like us being from Alabama, being Black, being Southern, being spiritual, being guided, yes, we do need projects such as Pray the Gay Away. And in any way that, I or we or the audience can support, we're definitely going to be here for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. Also, I want to say, if it's any archivists listening to this and y'all have books, please send me books in the mail or let me know where I can get the books from, because it's a lot of history that has been hidden intentionally. And I know y'all know where it's at. So
yeah, they out there, and we'll talk. We'll talk. But now we'll move into what I call like the rapid fire section of this show. So whatever comes to mind, just go ahead and say it. So what's your favorite house plant?
My alocasia.
Nice. So PB&J on white or wheat?
White bread.
Okay, I was just checking. Just make sure that we still friends. Because as you said, anything else, I'm like, well, that's it. The end.
Oh, dang, that's messed up. I mean, I've had it on wheat bread, but I think in the military, they just give us whatever is available.
But white bread, I mean, look, white bread go always hit, especially if you were a person that ate bologna, fried bologna, and cheese sandwiches. Yes, white bread is a requirement. So,
oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Now, would I eat it now? Probably not. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I would. Anyway, going back to these questions, what's your favorite love song?
What? Love song? I mean, I know I'm a lover girl, but sheesh.
Yeah.
I would say Snow Allegra, I Want You Around.
All right. That's why I asked, because I know you all about love. It's all right here in your heart.
Yeah.
Well, are there any suggestions and music you're listening to that you'd like to share with the folks here on the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually listening to a lot of Alice Coltrane. It has become a part of my daily routine. I'll just play it in the house until it gets chaotic. I know that's not the best word to describe her work, but some of it gets very dramatic and it sounds like chaos and it disturbs me. So I'll cut it off. But it's some tracks from Alice that I'm just like, I could listen to this on loop. I'm also listening to a lot of Sampha. I saw Sampha in concert before I got sick 3 weeks ago. He was actually in Birmingham.
Oh, really?
It was he was at Saturn. The tickets were $30 and I was in the front.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I'm hating now.
Oh man, you like Sampha?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow. Well, this new album is very spiritual and you can feel it. It felt like church. It felt like revival. And I was just like, why is this man from London here in the South? He was very specific about picking his tours and he wanted to come to Alabama.
Oh, that's love. That's love.
Yeah, but that's what I'm listening to right now.
Any podcasts that you listening to?
Trust Your Process.
Thank you. Thank you for the plug.
Yeah, that's the main one I'm listening to right now. That's the main one. On some real, definitely Trust Your Process, and I can't think of the name of the other one, but it deals with being a woman navigating in the business realm. So like taxes, finances, things that matter right now.
Adult stuff.
Yeah, yes. Gotcha. But it's fun. It's fun to listen to because they're millennials and they just keep it all the way real. But also they have really nice guests. The last show I listened to had Pinky Cole on it, and she was talking about how she was about to enter back into being the CEO of her company and why she chose to do it. It was really good.
Oh, nice, nice. Who would you like to hear on the show?
Oh, I'm going to be ambitious. Like, I'm going to dream big, and then I'm going to dream not so
Well,
big.
you can dream big and bigger.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to dream big and then bigger. I would love to hear on Trust Your Process, Deborah Willis. I also wouldn't mind hearing Renee Cox.
Oh, wow.
And no, Renee is dope. And I know she would do this. And who else would I like to hear on your show? I would also love to hear artists who aren't in the realm of photography on your show. Yeah, that would be dope to hear.
Love it.
Yeah.
Any parting thoughts?
To anybody that's listening, and to myself, continue to lean into your I am. You know, I am is a very bold statement, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Know that you are enough, even when you may be having a bad day. Go find your resume and read it out loud and remind yourself who you are. That helps me a lot. And just thank you for doing this. It's time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this goes for you and where this takes you in your process. You are not one-dimensional. Your identity is not just rooted in photography. You have a lot to offer us. So I'm excited. I'm just excited for you, and I'm excited to hear more.
Well, that means a lot. I appreciate you saying yes to being I am on this show. I really do. And I love you so much, and I'm just very grateful for you.
I love you too. I'm grateful for you too.
Thank you so much for listening to Trust Your Process, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, follow us on Instagram at trustyourprocess.co. You can also find me as LN Weatherspoon on both Instagram and YouTube. Trust Your Process is a labor of love, but if you're interested in sponsoring an episode, send an email to hello@trustyourprocess.co. It could be through a bird carrier, it could be Venmo, it could be Zelle. However you feel inclined to help, I truly appreciate it. Trust Your Process is written and hosted by Lynsey Weatherspoon and produced by Zakia Watley.